This episode is sponsored by UPMC Altoona Elite Orthopedics and the UPMC Sports Medicine Concussion Program. UPMC Altoona Elite Orthopedics and the UPMC Sports Medicine Concussion Program are proud to support youth sports across our region and proud to sponsor the 2022 High School Football Preview on the Altoona Mirror YouTube channel. To learn more about their board-certified orthopedic surgeons, their specially trained concussion management experts, and the wide range of orthopedic conditions they treat, or to schedule an appointment in one of their facilities in Hollidaysburg, Ebensburg, or Bedford, visit upmcaltoona.com/ortho or call 814-889-3600. That's 814-889-3600. So anyways, as soon as Mike gets here, we can start this because we got the games, we got all this stuff we got to introduce.
Got a lot to cover here, honestly.
Yeah. So,
hey guys.
Hey, Daniel, Daniel's on camera. Daniel never gets to get on camera. What do you bring us?
We have a problem.
What's the problem?
Well, I haven't seen Mike all week, and just got given this letter from Michael.
I pushed him over the ledge with my full name.
I think it's hooky.
Dear Scotty and Andy, since the end of the show last week when I sat down and did my best to listen to Scott's cool names, which has nothing to do with high school football, by the way, I have become violently ill and have decided to travel to Alaska to seek herbal healing from the natives that I found on Reddit. Hopefully I find a cure and can return next week. Best wishes, Mike.
I still think he's playing
So
hooky.
So who are we supposed to get? Like, are we just supposed to go out into the
who are we gonna
newsroom
get? Come
and
on.
pull people in?
I guess we'll have to do some live auditions.
We can do live auditions.
Wow.
Let me just go out and grab somebody and see if we can find them.
We'll
Let's
do
do
what
it.
we can this week.
Let's go. I'm joined here by Mike Boydham's replacement today, Pat Waksmunski. Pat's a photographer and a paginator in the newsroom. Patrick, happy to be here.
Oh, of course. I thought I was here to talk hockey.
Oh, man.
No,
Really?
Hockey
not
doesn't start for like another
Nobody
month.
about
I mean,
high school football.
No, we're not going to talk about hockey. I mean, might as well talk about Indy Racing League. or
No, about Formula One.
Formula One, no.
Oh.
No.
Then I'm out of here.
All right.
Oh.
Okay, we have Cynthia Wise here from our newsroom. She's going to talk football with us. Cynthia? Football?
Scott, you don't want me here.
Andrew. Yes, we
I
do.
thought she'd be perfect for us for this 1 week.
Trust me, you do not want me on this show.
What do you want to talk about, though?
Can I go make the paper?
Go.
All right.
Go. Hello again, everybody, and welcome to Week 5 of the High School Football Show here at the Altoona Mirror on YouTube, the Altoona Mirror channel. I am joined again by Junior Guru Andy Stein, and subbing for us, the Johnny Carson of sports comedy here for the older people who are watching. Mike Boydham, which you already saw prior to this opening, is not with us this week. And we hunted for all over the place to find that one guy that we could, or girl that could replace Mike, and we ended up with Neil Rudell. Neil Rudell, who discovered me, did he discover you?
Oh, yeah, he discovered me.
He discovered me, pulled me out of the radio station in 1984, at the Mirror and promised me riches and tribulations, all that stuff and everything. He's going to be Mike Boydham.
You got the tribulations.
Oh, I do. I love it. I love it. I love getting noticed. But anyways, Neil's going to talk football with us here. But before we do that, we got a couple things to show off. Last week, it came in late under the wire, so I wanted to apologize to the lovely lady who sent this to us, dropped off. We got 3 Cambria Heights towels that we will hang up one. So Neil gets one.
Yeah.
And it actually almost matches his shirt. Andy gets one.
There we go.
I go in. Do you think Ray Ackenroad would like this?
Well, I mean, the decorated Heights
This is
alumni. I mean, we could fill up a show. You mentioned Ray. You got Pat Wax. Both those guys were punt, pass, and kick champions. You know that?
I did not know about
Taking a
Pat
different
Wax.
age category.
Wow.
Okay. All the Lanceys that I knew.
But look at the quality.
These are cool.
And isn't there a county
These are really
commissioner
cool.
from Cambria Heights?
Cherniski.
Cherniski, yes. I met him once, so he didn't meet me. He was in a press box in my court.
Jubas has all kinds of
I didn't know
Cambria
Mr.
Heights
Jubas is
ties.
from there. But look at that's pretty nice. I mean, that's not just thrown together and spray painted. I mean, thank you very much. And we got a card. I will read to it real quick. It's not very long. She sent it to us. It says, "Thank you for always including our Highlanders during your show. Here is one for each of you, the O-line." So the O-line, a mom from an offensive lineman sent us this. So again, so appreciative.
I like my offensive lineman.
Yeah, and then for the people who drop stuff off who are far away, I don't Patton's not far away, but it's not like somebody from Altoona dropped off something for us.
I don't know what's
to
going
show
on
or
there.
anything. But
Where's the AD?
I don't think we're ever getting anything. I don't. I mean, I hold out hope. Like I said, I can always go into John Franco's basement and dig up some Mountain Line
There's a lot of
stuff.
stuff.
There's a lot of stuff I can dig up from there.
See if
And
Penn Cambria stuff up there too.
he might even have a St. Joe stuff. But also, real quick, Andy's mom
Yep. My
got
mom.
for us a Mo Valley hat. Even though that's probably 2 years, Dan? Is that Dan Eisenberg, our director and producer behind the camera? 2 years late on this one, but we got it. We're grateful. We'll keep it. We got a Mo Valley poster. And that's kind of a cool concept there too.
Yeah.
Put it on the car. I wonder whose car is it? None
I
of the
don't know
players.
whose car it is.
There's no
Could
nil.
be one of the players.
There's no nil deal there with these guys getting a
No,
car.
I was gonna say I want to know who that is because maybe I'll take that to something.
So here we'll have that.
That was Andy's prom car.
I
That been
wish.
your-
I did not travel in anything that nice in my life.
You didn't get on a tractor or anything, did you? Not that I'm judging.
No,
or
not in a
anything.
tractor either. No, I
Okay.
took my Monte Carlo. At the
Oh.
time.
There you go.
Yeah, I did like that.
I took a 1980
Thanks,
Chevy
Mom.
Citation, I think, or a Phoenix. Anyways, we're going to go right to week 1. I got the wrong page here. Our first game we're going to look at is Altoona 3-1 at Central Dauphin East 2-2. And we're blessed here because Neil's covered the last 2 Altoona games, so we'd ask you right away. Over their heads last week with State College, but I got to think they have a chance to bounce back here, and we're going to find out if they can bounce back this week.
Yeah, a disappointing game against State College. State College is very good, but I think Altoona felt that they can hang in there a little better. State College, it'll be interesting to see as the season goes on how far they go, whether Altoona will get another, I don't know about an opportunity to play them, what you call it, but if it ends up in a district championship. But I think Altoona, having seen them the week before, they have a certain style, and State College was probably a little bit more used to and what to expect. That's a big rivalry, and State College was up to that challenge. We'll see. Central Dauphin, I think, is also pretty good.
Yeah, Central Dauphin East. I know a couple of years when my sons were played Holliesburg, and a couple times we beat them pretty good. But then the last time we played them, we didn't pull away till the very end. So it's not the Central Dauphin East where people just count that as a victory. But as far as when you play, and I've asked you this before again, just for somebody new turning in, if you come off a big loss like Altoona, they were 3-0, and then they get really defeated soundly at home. How hard is that to bounce back the next week for a high school kid?
Yeah, and for a high school kid, you're 3-0. Maybe you took a little bit of a blow to the ego there, but I think I talked to Vince Niedermeyer earlier this week. I have a story coming out because Altoona's on the road for the first time this week, and so is Tyrone. So I'm doing a story on that this week. And Vince Niedermeyer, it kind of sounded like you just kind of need to throw that one away, and I think that's going to be the kids' mentality too.
And then our next game we're going to look at is Chestnut Ridge 4-0 at Central 2-2. And because Mike's on vacation, I got this story to write a preview for. And the tables have been turned because last year Central was the 4-0 team and Central was the favorite. So now Central's the underdog. Chestnut Ridge is the favorite. But as far as Central, what do you think that's been like for them this year? Because you think about those kids on the team, they've known nothing but success.
Right, a big adjustment, really. I mean, you obviously still have Hohenstein, who's the state leader in touchdowns, but they lost a lot of pieces around him. I mean, that was a lot of those kids were on the state championship baseball team. And, Parker Gregg, I think he's already contributing.
Yeah,
IUP,
he's scoring touchdowns at IUP already as a freshman.
Yeah,
and he's traveling. He's on the road with them.
Yeah, the Boyles kid. So, and they probably lost a couple steps up front. You talk about Stein's lines, right?
The Wade kid, who was one of our award winners at our spring banquet last year.
But you know what? When you have that kind of explosive passing game, you're in a lot of games, and I would expect it to be pretty competitive.
Your high school coaches, do they play that underdog role where you think St. Dave Baker will be up there going, hey,
you know what?
They're 4-0, we're 2-2.
You know what? We were always the favorite usually. Not very well. Most of the time we were the favorite under Howie Cambria.
Well, it's the cradle of coaches up there.
Absolutely. I mean, Mo Valley's a football factory over there. But I think any time that Howie Cambria got a chance to play the underdog role, I think he embraced it for sure. Yeah, I think that's what
Dave Baker will.
Yeah, Dave Baker will do.
Cambria Heights, our next game, purchase line 1-3 at Cambria Heights 3-1. At this point in the season, you're in week 5 and you're 1-3. I mean, I got to think Cambria Heights, their coach is going to make sure that they're not taking this team lightly because right now they have some lofty goals. As Mike, without jinxing them, thinks they could still be the number 1 seed in 1A, I believe, and everything. But I mean, you covered enough high school football over the years too. I mean, you got a sense.
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously, their transition to the Heritage Conference has brought a lot more winning to them. The Laurel Highlands Conference is a rugged experience for a lot of even the schools that have had consistent football programs. So I'm glad to see Heights having more success. I do think a lot of their traditional rivals are probably, Penn Cambria and Central Cambria. So it's an adjustment, but hey, there's no substitute for winning.
At this point in week 5, are they looking at would the coach be thinking playoffs and talking to his kids about positioning? Or do you think it's still too early?
You know what? That first week, I mean, they took that tough loss to Northern Cambria, but a lot's gone right for them ever since then. So I mean, I think it might be a little bit too early to be thinking about playoffs, but I'm sure it's in the back of their minds right now for sure. Okay,
our next game. We were talking in the newsroom before about, is this the best 2-2 team? Is this the best 2-2 team? And this is one. Bellwood is 3-1 at Juniata Valley 2-2. Those two teams always get together. It's a good matchup here, and I think this is probably the last one, right? Because Bellwood will be leaving for
the Islands,
but Juniata Valley has to be one of the better 2-2 teams in this.
I'd like to give Juniata Valley a lot of credit. Last week, they played the home game at Williamsburg, and I just think that is such a sense of community. Williamsburg has been, it's been a merger. You're starting to see mergers in the area, and that was really one of the first ones. But, for the Williamsburg kids on the team to get an opportunity, and for Williamsburg to, be able to have their field ready, and Juniata Valley, people come and support that. I think that was just a real feel-good story.
Yeah, because Juniata Valley could have been like, no, this is our program. We're going to play our game. They did. I mean, I wonder how many other schools would let somebody else go play,
But I'll tell you what, I covered that game last year, it was in Bellwood, and that was their only loss in the regular season, Bellwood, and let me tell you, I mean, Juniata Valley, that was a party on that field last year. So I'm sure that's in the back of their minds at Bellwood this year.
Well, it's a big deal to be able to beat Bellwood. Bellwood's been the dominant program in that ICC. Now they're leaving. Juniata Valley, and they've had rivalry over the year in different sports, boys and girls. So I'm sure that's going to be a great game.
And then our last game, and again, we took advantage of the alumna. Is it alumna? Is that the correct?
Alumni.
Alumni. The one person. What's singular?
Alumnus.
Alumnus, okay. Anyways, no more English lessons. No more. How about that? No more English lessons. Hey, I'm just the host. That's all I'm supposed to
You're
do.
doing a great job.
Thank
Both
you.
you guys are.
Thank
I
you.
enjoyed watching the show.
We didn't
every
even
week.
pay him for that
No,
either. There's
I'm
no
proud of you guys.
paid. There's no
Dan
thing.
Eisenberg too,
Yeah.
Mike Boyd. Mike's probably watching this game from
He
Alaska.
probably is.
Probably.
Yeah.
This is where Dan will flash in front of the screen. Paid promotion. Paid promotion. Paid
He's
promotion.
probably playing golf in Alaska.
He probably is. Penn Cambria 4-0 at Westmont Hilltop. 1-3. Neil graduated from Westmont Hilltop. I'm the only one who picked Penn Cambria to lose last week to Bishop Guilford.
Yeah.
But I do. I have my Penn Cambria cup. I've been using it every week. It's not just for show today. But Penn Cambria, I mean, did that surprise you that they? Because I thought they were going to come down after losing to Central, after beating Central, and that was such a
Right.
big win. I thought, oh, this is the perfect time for BG to sneak up and steal one.
Well, I mean, and you guys are a lot closer to the high school than I am, but just a couple things. This Harold kid obviously is a really good leader
Yeah.
and a kid that you can build a sports program around. I'm glad to see him having success. I'll be curious, how the recruitment will be going for him, because
He's D1.
yeah,
that's what I was told. He was
and
D1.
that's nice to see. But the way the transfer portal works, it's affected the recruitment of a lot of the high school kids because a lot of these colleges are looking for guys coming out of the portal from somewhere.
Yeah.
But I wish him well. He looks like a really great kid, and I'm also happy. For Nick Felis up there.
Yes.
Because he was at Altoona, things didn't really work out.
That's a tough place to coach, I was told. I was told, I
but I think
heard.
Vince is doing a good job.
Yeah, I'm
there.
very happy for Vince.
Yeah.
Good
so
guy.
yeah, I'm glad to see Nick having success up there at his alma mater, and they've had a couple, big wins to beat Central and BG
back to back.
The Westmont thing is interesting to me because when I grew up until this year, Westmont always played their games on Saturday afternoons.
And this one is Saturday. This one is
Oh, they're
Saturday.
playing that game
Yeah, they're
Saturday
Saturday.
afternoon?
Actually, Nick was on the radio Tuesday morning, and they asked him if that bothered him that it was Saturday. He goes, hey, after what happened 2 years ago, we're just happy to play a football game any day. But I don't know why, unless it's a homecoming.
Westmont put lights in
They
for
did.
the first time ever.
Yeah.
I mean, this is like 80 years.
Yeah. I do. I remember going to those games.
back when they did it, you had Notre Dame on TV and maybe another game.
Yeah.
And now there's 50 games on
Yeah.
TV, and
And
they
you
had
miss
to
it.
compete with that. And Westmont's a nice community, and the people there are enjoying the Friday night. Friday night is when high school football should
Exactly.
play.
Sure.
I'm surprised this game already is
Yeah.
on a Saturday or what the reason may be. But Westmont's got a brand new facility there, and I look for their program to continue to.
Are you familiar with that offense they run?
I'm not.
It's kind of like the Delaware wing tee.
Like Altoona?
Oh, man.
Yeah, not like that. I think if you get 6 passes thrown over 2 weeks, that's a lot. Because I remember when my brother John was coaching Penn Cambria those 2 years, he sat there and said that game can be over in like 5 minutes.
Right.
Because they line up and say, this is what we're going to do. You stop us.
In
And Penn
Williamsburg kind of ran an offense like that. It was tough to prepare for. I mean,
Yeah.
you had
Yeah.
multiple options.
It's a nice game for a sports writer. The game keeps
Yeah.
moving.
Yeah.
It keeps you on your toes, too.
Bedford went into Westmont and pounded them, didn't they
Yeah.
not?
Right, yeah.
So, I don't know. I guess Penn Cambria would be the favorite in this
And
game.
here's how I know about Westmont, because when I worked here in the 80s and there was no Sunday paper, Neil and Jimmy Lane would give me 2 games on a Saturday. I'd get an afternoon game, and that's back when Portage was playing at Windber, because remember Portage was getting their stadium built. And then I'd go Saturday night and cover Northern Bedford, who played their home games on Saturday night in Roaring Spring, where Central played.
Yeah.
Because Northern Bedford did, and that's how old I am, and he's older than me. But I loved it. I got 2 games. I got
Well,
mileage.
and look-
I got to listen to college football on the radio, driving back and forth.
You paid your dues, Scott.
I paid my dues.
But now Northern Bedford, I've been out there a couple
That's
this
a
year.
really nice
They
facility.
did a beautiful job with their facility, and they got a good team. I know it's not on your list.
Some of this,
I don't want
but
to
we-
stray.
but we do need better internet service. Do you not agree?
Oh my
We do
God,
that.
absolutely.
We're hoping Gary Black will work on that. But do we have our stat of the week? Do you have
I
a stat
got
of
the
the
stat
week?
of the week.
Mike
yeah.
left us a
Mike
stat of the
just-
week, which was awful nice of him considering
Yeah.
he bailed on us.
It's a pretty good stat of the week, too. 'cause-
Considering where he's at.
But yeah, exactly. I mean, and I know that probably Alaska high school football probably isn't a very big priority out there. But his stat of the week is there are 28 high schools in Alaska that have high school football. So
That's like District. Dan and I were talking
Yeah, that's
before the
District
show.
6, basically.
That's probably like so. Basically, District 6 is the
Yeah.
size of Alaska when it
Yeah.
comes. Just think about that.
Well, that's a
would we get that
long-
all in Blitz? Would they all be in Blitz?
Long road trip.
We got to sell a Hawaii Blitz or Hawaii
of course,
Blitz, an
like,
Alaska Blitz.
is it snowing out there in Alaska?
I
Like,
don't know. They probably start football in July, I would think.
Probably.
Now, what about now? We have Stein's line, which the
Yes.
cool sound effects that Dan's going to put in there.
Short steps. Short steps are better than long steps.
So, I've mentioned it before that I really love linemen, and it's bonus points if you were a lineman and a heavyweight wrestler. So, there we go.
No cornerbacks. No
I
cornerbacks.
was going to say, I wasn't a point guard. I didn't run the point or anything. I was a lineman. So,
No one could tell.
no one, no.
He does not look like Ernie D. Gregorio from the Buffalo
Ernie
Break.
D, yeah.
Ernie D. He and I are old enough to know that guy.
So, my line of the week this week is Penn Cambria. None of their stats were eye-popping this past week, but what was impressive is they're now 4-0. Back the last 2 weeks, they beat Central and Bishop Guilfoyle, which, that's eye-popping in itself right there, I would say. So their offensive line is their left tackle is Preston Faribaugh. Their left guard is Mason Raymond, which he was an honorable mention pick a few weeks ago because he picked up a touchdown in the end zone. Really jealous about that. Center, Brandon Yeoman. Right guard, Andy Weiland. Good name. Right tackle, Caden Logan. And their H-back is Vinny Sheridan. Good job by all those guys.
If Vinny had a cool Italian name at the end, that could have made
Sure.
our segue to our next list, the best part of the show, because it sent Mike away on vacation, obviously, for a week. He'll come back refreshed. Well, you got
Yeah.
something that you always use when he sees me coming back
So
on a
he didn't look
Monday.
too well. He didn't look too well last
Scotty,
week.
you're refreshed. You're better. But anyways, and Daniel will do the technical stuff across the bottom of the screen.
I wanna know what's the name of the game?
From Bellwood Annis, Elijah, love the biblical part there, Elijah Plubell.
Very good name.
Plubell, he's a senior tight end linebacker, and he also throws on their track team. I remember that name from last spring.
Yep.
And then Central, this kid's a lineman, and when his parents named him this, however many years ago, he's a junior, so 17 years ago, he had to be a lineman. Hank Culp.
Yeah.
K-U-L-P. There are no cornerbacks or split ends named Hank
That's a great name.
Culp, and I hope I get to meet this kid someday, but he's got to look like a lineman. Your name is Hank Culp.
Yeah, when he's done blocking, he's probably working on the farm out there.
Yeah, that's it. And if his name's Henry, that's even cooler because Henry Aaron was called Hank Aaron. But yeah, Hank Culp and Elijah Plubell are our names of the week. But that brings us to the end of our show. We have all this fun. It seems to be illegal. I hope we have as much fun when Mike comes back next
he
week.
will.
But we want to thank Cindy Wise for helping us out, for Pat Waksmunski, for Neil Rudell jumping in for us. You can actually go on YouTube, and there's episodes dating back to like 2019 of you stepping in whenever Mike wasn't here. And then when I wasn't here, when it's him and Mike, there's so much fun going on that show. You don't even remember the football stuff. But for Andy Stein, for our Alfred Hitchcock behind the camera over there, Dan Eisenberg, Neil Rudell, I'm Scott Franco. Thanks for watching.